the random variable, Bernoulli random variables, we understood that we want to study the problem. Knowing the probability is nothing but knowing the probability distributions. Knowing the random variable completely means what? If you know the probability distribution, I know the random variable completely, and vice versa also true. If you in detail what is the probability density means, but we understood what is the meaning of the probability mass function. We have done that example, right? And the different random variables are going to have different mass functions, but it is very, very difficult to come up with a formula for each and every random variable. That's the reason statisticians came up with standard functions. If you know what function I need to use for what problem, my job done. All are with me? So most of the problems are going to fit into one of these standard problems. Let's say my problem is not fitting into any of these standard problems. What should I do? I need to come up with my own probability distribution function which can satisfy. That will become your PhD research problem. All are getting or not? All are getting? Friends online, you guys are able to appreciate whatever I am doing the revision? You guys are able to. So as a part of that, we started with the Bernoulli random variable. What is the meaning of the Bernoulli random variable? What is the meaning of the Bernoulli random variable? If any random variable which is going to take either 0 or 1 values, such random variables I call as a Bernoulli random variables. Let me repeat. If any random variable which is going to take 0 or 1, only 2 values, yes or no, pass, fail, he is having a cancer or not having a cancer, if you go to the bank, he is going to pay the loan or not going to pay the loan, all these are Bernoulli random variables only, but only one trial. Bernoulli random variable output is a single trial. What is the meaning of the single trial here? For example, you go to a bank, you want to apply for a loan, you will become the one Bernoulli random variable because the banker has to take the person is going to pay the loan or not. So he is going to deal every day. He is going to deal with so many Bernoulli random variables. Emandi online things are clear or not? Online things are clear or not? So wherever yes, no, Bernoulli execution of the test case, it may pass or fail, Bernoulli random variable. You are going to come to the class on time or not on time, Bernoulli random variable. The person is having a cancer or not having a cancer, Bernoulli random variable. You are going to get married to a person or not, Bernoulli random variable. Everything is a Bernoulli. Not clear? Everything is a Bernoulli. His height is 170 centimeter. Is it a Bernoulli? Is it a Bernoulli? It's not Bernoulli. Because only 0 or 1 only you should take. But I can define my Bernoulli random variable like this. I can convert x equal to 170 centimeters is what kind of variable? Continuous or discrete? Height. Height means what? I'm using the instrument to measure it. It will become a continuous. So it is not. It is a continuous. Can I convert this continuous into Bernoulli? I'll write like this. If his height is greater than 170 centimeters, call as a 1, otherwise 0. So I can convert any continuous into discrete anytime, but reverse is not possible. That's the reason whenever you want to collect the data, you need to try to collect the data in the continuous form, because I can convert the data anytime into discrete, but reverse is not possible. Sometimes it's not possible to collect the data in a continuous form. For example, gender, male or female, I cannot use an instrument to measure it and collect that data, right? All are getting or no? So I cannot do that. So some cases, some situations, you can collect the data using the instrument. Some situations, it's not possible. At that time, I don't have a choice. I need to collect the data in the discrete form only. Make sense? Okay. It's going to take two values. It is going to have a formula. That's what we learned, right? What is this formula? Probability. What is this? Strictly speaking, what should I call this? Probability mass function formula. Yes or no? These are probability mass function. You need to remember. I've written that 20 times. You need to write it. This is going to change you forever. This is going to change you. People talk about the logistic regression. There they use this. If you don't understand this, it is very, very difficult to deal there. Okay? So I am building the basics which are required for my future classes. Okay. This is the probability mass function. You can call probability distribution function in general, but be specific because you are learning the subject. Once you learn the subject, once you are adjusted with the language, you can use probability mass function or probability. It is not going to be a problem. But to be specific, what should I call? Probability mass function. In few books, in higher standard books, there is no mass function. Everything is a density function. Because I can convert density into mass function anytime, right? Why? I can convert my continuous random variable to discrete random variable anytime. Of course, if you join my probability classes, separate probability course. We'll teach only probability for 6 or 7 months. At that time, we'll do the subject differently. You guys are getting? Okay. So this is the if my random variable is Bernoulli, this will become my formula. I need to know how to use this formula. Along with me, how this formula derived, I'm going to cover maybe today or tomorrow. Let's not worry about it. I'm going to do the derivation for this. For that, you need to have some more knowledge. Along with me. Okay. Now, P naught. What is the P naught? Entire population data. So, someone asked in the last class, this one. Let's say, tossing a coin. How I am going to get the 1/2? Already I proved that, right? For that also generate the data large. How am I going to generate the data? Let us see, verify. Let's say, close your eyes, don't see what I'm doing. If you see what I'm doing, you don't understand the essence of the things. Let's say, I've done only 2 trials. How many Bernoulli trials here? Based on this, how many? Let's say 0 is the head and 1 is the tail. How many? What is the percentage of the times you are going to have a 0 head? It is saying always head, right? 100%. But is this statement is right? It is not right. Why? I know theoretically the probability of getting a head or tail is how much? 0.5 only. But now here how much I got? 100. Is the theory is wrong? Or this data is wrong? So what I'm saying is, don't collect only the 2 or 3 samples, collect 1,000 samples, or 10,000 samples, or 1 lakh samples. Then calculate the percentage. That percentage is going to give what is my population. What is the population in the sense what? What is my actual probability is going to be? It should equal to my 0.5. Let me do that. Now I am doing this. Let's say some huge data now. Like this, some 10,000 or 1 lakh I generated. I don't know how much. So let us see what is happening. How much it is? Near to 0.5 or not? If I increase the size of the sample further, definitely it is going to become. So what I'm trying to say, that also they also came up with a 0.5 by collecting large number of trials. What such trials? Each one is a Bernoulli trial. So what I'm trying to say is, if you collect the data large, automatically it is going to match with your 0.5. All clear? So whenever someone is collecting the data, whenever you see yes or no, don't attribute 0.5 is the probability. No, 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 that is not right. Hope this is clear to everyone. If this is clear, guys, you guys are able to digest the subject, or it is going top of your head. But in most of the times, I don't know the population. What should I do? When you go to the laboratory to undergo some test, what is going to do? Is going to suck your entire blood or take the sample only? Huh? So you give the sample blood there. Let's say local, my nearby hospital, and if you do the same test in some hi-fi corporate hospital, the results are going to be the same or different? Huh? Same. Have you tried? It's not going to be same, because there is a instrument error always. 13.6 grams of hemoglobin here. If you do it with some other, maybe it will become 14 or whatever it is. All are with me? So what I'm trying to say, in real world, you're not going to have the population. Then calculation of this percentage will become a challenge. Yes or no? For example, only I'm having a before 2 data points before 0, 0. So what is the percentage of the times I'm going to get a head at the time if x equal to 0 is the head? 100%. That's what is the probability I'm going to take, and I'm going to do the calculations. Clear? Now let us assume this is a real world problem what we worked. Let me show how the things are going to shape up. In real world, you are not going to have a population, right? You are going to have what? Sample only? So there was a problem which came to ISI, Indian Statistical Institute. The problem is like this. They want to understand how many counterfeit pharmacy shops in India. Let me repeat. How many counterfeit pharmacy shops in India? What is the meaning of the counterfeit? They are not having a license, still they are running the shops. Clear? Okay. They want to estimate this. So actually, if I want to do the study, what I need to do? I need to go to every shop in India and check it whether they are having a license across India, and then only I'll come to know, right? Yes or no? Is it easy to collect? It's not easy to collect. So what I can do? I need to collect some sample of shops. Maybe in Hyderabad, I'll go to few. Maybe in few villages also, I'll go and ask whether they are having a license, proper license or not. Like that, I'll do the thing. Okay. So based on that, only that too, I can reach out to only few shops. Going to every shop, it will become too much of money involved. Remember the data collection. So that's where I say data collection is a costly. Your theory is saying that you collect, some 2 lakhs of shops data. Collecting the 2 lakhs of shops data is not that easy, right? I need to travel to every shop. I need to recruit the resources. Is it that easy? No. My theory is saying when I use some formula, what is the sample size I need to calculate? It is coming n equal to, let's say, 2 lakhs. Going to 2 lakhs shops is very, very difficult. So my answer, my straightforward answer is how much money you are having to collect the data, that much you collect. I'm having only 10 rupees. I have the 10 much related worth of the data. Even I say 100 rupees worth of the data to collect, you're not going to collect. I'm talking about the practical aspect. Makes sense or not? I gave one example. Ramya, her husband is a doctor. He wants to do the PhD. He came to me. He is a dentist. He wants to understand something. Okay, but for to collect the data, each one data point is going to costed him 4,000 rupees. If you ask him, saying, yeah, collect the 2 lakhs data points, he's going to do that. 2 lakhs into 4,000. He cannot even earn after having that whatever the degree, right? You guys are understanding or not? So what I'm saying is, don't go by the theory, understand the practical aspect as well. Sometimes it's very, very difficult. My answer is collect the data as much as you can. Make sense? Make sense? You guys are, is it a convincing answer or not? Friends, is it a convincing answer? Sometimes it's very, very difficult to collect the data. Well, let's say I want to construct a dam in a particular area. Let's say Japan. If I want to construct a dam in Japan, there earthquakes are going to be very frequent, right? Yes or no? But if I want to construct a dam in India and Hyderabad, earthquakes are very, very less. But still I want to study how the earthquakes are going to come, with what intensity. If earthquake comes, is it my dam is going to get damaged or not? All these things, if I want to see, I need to collect the data, right? To get each earthquake, how long I need to wait? I need to wait forever. So what I'm trying to say is, sometimes data collection is possible, sometimes it's not possible, sometimes difficult, sometimes costly. All those issues are there. So considering all these things, you need to take account. Make sense or not? Makes sense. But still, let me prove even less amount of data, sometimes it works very well. But let us understand the pattern, how the things are going to be look like. All are getting? Okay. Now what I'm doing is, let's say counterfeit shops. There are, if I need to go, let's say around 50,000 shops in entire India. How many shops are there? All the shops together, how many shops are coming? That will become my population if I need to go. So let me generate this population shops. Don't see what I am doing again. Don't see what I am doing again. So these are the shops. How many shops are there? How many shops are there? Each one is what? Bernoulli trial or not? Now I'm going to do the randomly. I'm going to make use of the Minitab, the software, to do the random sampling. How I'm going to do? Let us see. Random data, sample from column. All with me. Number of samples. Let's say I want to go to randomly. I'm doing it. So out of 50, I want to collect. The 1,000 should be number of samples, 1,000. In real world, how do you are going to collect the data? Out of 50,000, you are visiting the only 1,000 shops and collecting the data. So I'm doing the same thing here by simulation. You guys are getting? Okay, fantastic. From here I'm asking to store it in, let's say, some C4. How many are there? These 1,000. So if I understand my entire population, what is the percentage of the shops? Let's say X equal to 1 is a counterfeit shop, X equal to 0 is having a proper license. I'm interested in the X equal to 1, right? Yes or no? Curve. Basic statistics. First, let us, if I need to collect, if it is possible to collect all the population, I'm collecting. Let's assume how my p-value. Here P or P naught. This I am going to get P naught because population, right? P naught is for the population. So what is the P naught? Let us see. How much is this? 0.3024 M and D. Now I am doing the same thing on the sample. For the sample, what is the percentage, proportion of probability of that shop is going to have a license or not having a license? Now I need to do the same thing in sample data. This time, what I need to select? C4, right? How much is that? Instead of 50,000, I collected only 0.319. So it is coming near to this. M and D. See, this is a sample. I need to take the I need to take the risk of the difference while taking the decision. All are clear? I need to take the, it is like this. You met, you know, you are having a new friend. Let's say, what's your name? Shrikant. Shrikant and myself are the friends. I know Shrikant for the last only 15 days or 20 days. Right? Now we became friends for the last only 15 days. Now, after that, today he came and asked me money. Ramesh, can you lend some money? Let's say 1 lakh rupees. Okay? Do I need to give or not? What do you say? Huh? You are going to give? Huh? Maybe you may give if you are a risk taker. If you are not a risk taker, you may not give. But after a few years of interaction, at that time also he asked, let's assume. You may give it, right? Based on his nature? Yes or no? So how many samples you collected? You collected a lot of samples because every interaction is one sample. Based on that, you concluded. All are with me. All are with me, guys. So if you have a less data, maybe the decision may be fall in risk. That's the reason. Whenever a banker, whenever you go to the bank, if he wants to give a loan, he's asking to sign so many things, right? Or he is giving the loan only with one sign. He's collecting a lot of information. You guys are getting. He is going to ask you, do you have a vehicle? Do you have a land? All those things. Make sense or not? This is information. M&D, online. You guys are able to appreciate what I'm saying? So there is always a risk when you are dealing with a sample. You need to ready for that risk. How much is the risk and all? We are going to talk in detail. We are going to quantify the risk also. When you are taking the decision, every decision comes with a risk. Please make a note of this. Every decision is going to comes with a risk. There is no free lunch. There is a cost involved with a risk. Very, very important. In the machine learning, deep learning, everything, they want to optimize that risk. How we are going to optimize that? Different methods we are going to learn. These are called cost functions. Risk of cost. Okay, they optimize those. That's how every model, people call those are algorithms. For me, it's a mathematics. Mathematics. You guys are able to appreciate what I'm saying? Okay. Now, out of 50,000, even I collect only 20% of the data is good enough or not? Let us see if I collect only 500, what is going to happen? I need to, this time, how much I need to sample? 500 only? Yes or no? What is the sample with the replacement? We are going to deal with in the future. Let's not worry about for the time. Is it only 500? Or something more? Yeah, 500. Fine. So now, let us calculate the simple statistics. How much is this? Yeah, the risk is increasing compared to what is increasing? Actually, my population value is how much? This is my population. 0.3024. And what about this? There are around 3% of risk, right? So you collect as much data as you can so that it is going to near to my population value. All are with me? All are with me? Friends, still it works very well. You cannot, nobody is going to say that take the 100% correct decision. For example, if you want to cross the road. You cross the road by assuming your decision is right. No vehicle is going to hit you. But still, there are so many accidents are happening. How can you expect this mathematics to give always 100% accuracy when yourself is not sure about your life? You guys are understanding? But we are trying to optimize the risk of taking the decision by using this science. That's called data science. What you are going to do in the data science? I want to take the decision. While taking the decision, everything comes with a risk. I want to optimize that risk, minimize my risk by using some science. That is science we are going to learn, that's all. Okay? Because you are not exposed to your population anytime, right? You are always going to deal with, it is like this. There may be so many things. There are so many, meanwhile, while taking the decision, maybe the data which you recorded may be wrong data. Let's say you gave your blood to one medical, laboratory. The instrument, he is not a skilled person. The technician who is doing the task. Actually, you are having a hemoglobin level 6 grams. He returned 16 grams. Possible. Everywhere mistake is possible. You guys are getting. So by using, you are having a nice hemoglobin level, no need to take it. You are going to die. You guys are understanding? You guys are understanding, guys? This world war happened like that. You guys know? What happened? There was some plane coming from to bomb. There is a radar system. It is going to calculate the probabilities. That machine calculates the probability, let's say, bird instead of the some bomber. What is going to happen? Everything is fine, right? On the next minute, everything is smashed, right? You guys are understanding this. So decisions are that much of costly. World war kind of costly. Don't think that decision is always putting in some AC room, I'll write some SQL query and take the decision. Your decision is going to impact like that. You went to a hospital to test for the having a cancer or not. There also they are going to calculate the probability only. Whatever the sample collected is not good enough to conclude saying having a cancer or not. At the time also you are going to fall in trouble with the decision. You guys are able to appreciate the discussion. You guys are able to appreciate the discussion, friends. So what I'm trying to say is sample is as much as you can. How much? Collect how much money you are having. Invest in the sample collection. Invest your money in sample collection. Okay? So now let's come back to our thing. So what is the density function here? What is the density function? Oh, sorry, mass function. This is a mass function. I have not done the proof. What is this P naught? P naught is for the population. And P. P is for, how I am going to calculate that P using the sample data. What is the sample data? 0 or 1. I'll add all those things divided by total number of observations. All are clear on this part so far? So far all are clear, guys? Any questions before I move? Any questions before I move? So P, number of people secured the job, total number of people in the last class what we discussed, right? Just before also we have done, na? So always I am going to deal with the small p, we are not going to deal with the capital P. What is this P naught? P naught is the parameter. Let me introduce one more thing. Important, this notation, important. What is this? If X is a Bernoulli random variable, people who joined, I think they are not facing any problem so far. Now you are going to face the problem. Because you don't know the background, some mathematical things I am going to use, you are going to face the problem. Okay. Don't worry, if you go through the videos, things will be very, very. Let me tell you what are the important videos you need to go through. One is a probability video. Make a note of it. People who joined today or yesterday or whatever it is. Probability videos wherever. Even people who wants to do the revision. These are important things. And one is the expected value of X, another V of X, another is histogram. And another is random variable definition. We dealt in very great detail, right? random variable definition, right? So these are the things you should be clear going forward. Rest of the concepts you can study on your own time. Even you guys are doing the revision, don't spend too much on time on box plot, all those things. It is not going to hamper your understanding going forward. So these are very, very important. These are as a priority, you need to do the revision. Okay, yeah. If X is a Bernoulli random variable, with parameter. Parameter mean what? What is the meaning of the parameter? P naught. So for every distribution, they are going to have parameters. What is the meaning of this? This is, let me explain it nicely. What is the importance of a parameter? For a given distribution, let's say I want to study your health. What is that? I want to study your health. Let's say everybody on the earth, the health is gone by only 2 tests. Let's say BP and sugar. Of course, there are some other tests for our consumption. I'm saying. What are the things? If I know the what is BP, what is his sugar level, I can tell his, I can talk about his health. I can talk about his health behavior, right? Yes or no? Probability distribution is nothing but the behavior. Why? But the distribution curve is coming from where? Histogram or not? M and D. M and D. So what I'm trying to say is probability distribution. Knowing the probability distribution means what? Knowing the behavior. Histogram is nothing but the knowing the behavior, and from that only we are construct the probability curve. If you know the probability curve, you know the behavior. Okay. This every distribution. So knowing the behavior means what? You know the random variable completely. For that, what are the things you need to know? What are the random variabilities going to take the value and corresponding probabilities? Using this probability mass function, I'm going to calculate the probabilities. X, I know what are the values it is going to take, 0 and 1. What are the other things I need to know? P naught. From the data, actual from data, what is the thing I need to calculate? Only the P naught. Anyway, for Bernoulli random variable means I know already. Nothing new to know. You guys are understanding? When I say Bernoulli random variable, do you know the X value or not? Or do you need to collect the sample to understand what are its values? Let me repeat. When I'm saying it is a Bernoulli random variable, you know the X values or not? What is you don't know? P naught only. For that you need to collect the data. If you know the data, you can calculate that probability. If you can calculate the probability, you can characterize the behavior. Let me put it the same thing to the health example. Your health is gone by, let's say, BP and sugar. If I know these two, I can talk about your health confidently. Yes or no? Yes or no, guys? Online. If I don't know this, if these values are wrong, given by the technical person or that laboratory person, I'm going to interpret your health wrong. Yes, sir, understanding or no? Online, please respond. You guys are able to understand or not? I'm calling this health, this sugar and BP level, I'm calling those two as parameters. If I know the parameters, I can talk about whatever you want. Because I know what are the values it is going to take. I can calculate the probabilities. You substitute here P naught value, I can calculate the probability accordingly. How I'm going to do that? We'll do it. Let's learn. But what I'm saying is X value already you know. If I know the P naught, I can substitute that. I can calculate the probability or not. M and D. You guys are getting? You guys are getting what I'm saying? So I can talk about it. I know that what are the values it is going to take, and I know the probability. I can calculate the behavior. Similarly, if you know this BP and sugar level, I characterize the health behavior. So knowing the parameter means what? Knowing its behavior. Knowing the behavior is nothing but what? Knowing everything about that problem, right? So what is your attempt in the entire data science? You want to understand the behavior to take the decision. So our struggle is to understand what for a given problem, what is the formula I need to use. In that formula, what are its parameters are there, but in the real world, I don't know these parameters. I don't know these parameters. For that, as I don't know, but I can use the sample data and you can calculate the probabilities. If the sample data calculated going to match, that is small p is going to match with the p naught, my decisions are going to be more accurate. But how do I know this is going to match with the p and p naught is going to match? We'll see those things afterwards. All are with me? All are with me, guys? So our attempt is to understand the population parameters which are unknown to us. Everything settled down into your head now? Everything settled down, guys? Or top of your head? Or okay. Now let us calculate. Is before marriage, 10 o'clock, and used to come at night, 11 o'clock. Okay. After the marriage, he's going to do the same. Can I say that still he's going to come to the, he's going to spend his time at 10 to 11? No, because policy changed. So what I'm saying is, you need to collect the data, the p-value under the same policy conditions. If these policies are changing, this interpretation is not going to hold good. All are with me? But most of the real-time problems, this is going to be a constant. But if this changes frequently, let's say there is a bowler. He's changing each ball differently. He's throwing each ball differently. It is very, very difficult, right? Yes or no? So what I'm saying is, under the same policy conditions, this is going to hold good. But if this P is subject to change every time, maybe every 10 days or 1 week, whatever the theory I'm teaching is not going to work out. But for most of the real-time problems, it's going to work very well. Then, if it's changing frequently, what I need to do? There is some other subject called stochastic process. Stochastic process. Random process. Random means what? The process is changing frequently. Stochastic process, random process. That's what you need to learn. But in this course, we are not covering that. That is, the process changing frequently, but still you consider like this, the policy changing frequently. Still it is going to work very well. Maybe your decision, the accuracy of your decision may be not maybe 90% accuracy or 100% accuracy. The accuracy levels are going to be changed. All are with me? Now, this actually I am able to calculate the P naught. Still I write, as I don't have Bernoulli with, this is wrong, but for my consumption I am writing it because I am treating this as a P naught. What is the meaning of this? If my data sample is good enough, anyway this will become equivalent to my population value. If I don't assume this P is not equivalent to P naught, what? I don't do my analysis. I'm assuming this is right, that's why I'm going ahead with my analysis. If you know that you are not going to get a job, do journalism. What is the assumption you are having? I get a job, 100%. Yes or no? Everyone is thinking like that, right? You guys are understanding. So, if you know I'm not going to get a job, you don't join my classes. Similarly here also. If I assume this is not equal to P naught, am I going to do my analysis? No. So I'm assuming this P naught, this equivalent to P naught, that's why I'm going to add with my analysis. You guys agree? So this will, I'm treating this is a 0.4211. This is my P naught. Okay. Now, for every distribution, I am going to calculate expected value of X and variance of X. Let us understand. What is this expected value of X? E of X equals to, this is nothing but the mean, right? Mean. Already we discussed all these things. Now, people who joined today are going to face the problem with this because they don't know this. Sigma. What is the formula? I'll try to keep it simple. X equal to Xi. First, before calculating this, I'm going to construct a table to make use of this formula. What is that? X, what are the values it is going to take? And corresponding Here 1. When it is 1, what is this probability, guys? 0.4211. When it is 0, what is that? 1 minus that will become this probability. 42% chance that I am going to get a job if I join data science class in data labs. How much the chance you are not going to get? 1 minus of this, because the total probability is 1. That's what we learn. Whatever it is. Agreed? Agreed or not? Let's calculate the E of x. What is the E of x formula? Sigma xi. Xi is nothing but this one. 1 into its corresponding probability plus 0 into its corresponding probability. How much is this? Which is equivalent to, strictly speaking, it's a P naught, right? Amandi. So P naught became average or not? This is average, no? Sum of the numbers divided by total number of observations. That's how you got your 0.42. So expected value of x is nothing but the average. I mean the mean, strictly speaking. You guys need to understand whether I am talking about the average or mean. You guys know the difference. Mean is for the population, average is for the sample. So this is equivalent to that. How much I got the average value? On an average. So in a simple way, I can write like this. Let me write theoretically. X equal to xi. For any probability, this is a 1, this is a P naught. You define what is a 1. You define on your own what is a 1. We'll redefine by 1 or something and we'll talk about that. Don't worry about it. Here this will become Amandi. What is the E of x formula? Sigma of xi into P of x equal to xi. If we expand, this will become 1 into P naught plus 0 into 1 minus P naught. So what is the expected value of x? Expected value of x is nothing but, agreed or not? Agreed or not? Online. P naught is nothing but the average only. Again. So what is the Bernoulli random variable mean? That is nothing but take the sample and calculate the average. That will become your expected value. Makes sense? Or variance of x. How I am going to calculate the variance of x? I'll take other way also and I calculate. Let me complete in one stream. What is the variance of x formula? This is nothing but, this is a formula. I can use this. You can use whatever you want. You going to make use of this because I know how to calculate this, right? I already calculated this, no? E of x I already calculated. How to calculate the E of x square? E of x square I need to know. Sigma x square into, agreed or not? Sigma x into corresponding probability. How much is that? P naught plus 0 square and corresponding probability. Agreed? Agreed, guys? How much is this? P naught. So E of x square also P naught. No need to remember, but you need to remember this. R. R stands for remember. You need to remember that. And what about this? E of, now I want to calculate the if you are clear with the fundamentals, you don't see any difficulty. Already I spent a lot of time on this, right? How to calculate the E of x square and all those things. So how much is this? P naught. How much is this? P naught square. This is nothing but what? I am taking the P naught common, 1 minus P naught. So 1 minus P naught is nothing but what? This one? I am calling this as a Q naught. I'm not liking to write every time 1 minus P naught. I'm calling that as a Q naught. See, this P naught, Q naught is my notation. If I write a book, I'll write like this. You see a different notation in here? I'm P naught, Q naught. So let me write it now. X follows Bernoulli with a P naught. And what is the E of X? P naught only. What is the V of X? You are using V of X or R of X? V of X, Pravina. Variance. This is the variance V. Sorry for my bad writing. Variance V of X. P naught into Q naught. Important. You need to remember. Write 20 times. If you don't, X equal to 1. Probability I want. Do this. P naught all to the power of 1. 1 minus P naught. 1 minus 1. How much is this? P naught. This 0. Something to the power of 0 is how much? 1. This will become a P naught. Yes or no? So what is the probability of getting X equal to 1? Is it matching with my original or not? When I calculate the probability X equal to 1, how much is the probability I got? Is it satisfying? Is this function is satisfying the actual probabilities? That's what we verified in the sum of the two dice. Actual, when I calculated using that data, we got the formula. You guys remember? Similarly, let's do this. P of X equal to 0. X equal to 0. Online, you people, how much is this? P to the power of 0, 1 minus P naught here. 1 minus P naught. Theoretically, I am writing here. I'm assuming I know the population. That's how the theory should derive, right? The theory, what should I derive? I know everything. One minus 0. What is this will become? So this is something to the power of 0 is 1. I left out this P naught. Is it matching with the theory of calculated probabilities here on the data? So this satisfying this function, whatever are you satisfying these probabilities? Can I call that as a mass function? Online. Let us take the reverse. What is the meaning of taking reverse? Now I am going to call 0 as a 1 minus P naught. I need to take the reverse, right? So here X equal to 0, X equal to 1. Now I am going to take X equal to 1 is what definition? Getting a job or not getting a job? Not getting a job this time. And X equal to 0, got a job. When I'm adding, now in the data, wherever 0 is there, I need to replace with 1. And wherever 1 is there, I need to replace with 0. Makes sense? But when I'm adding all those things, this time what I'm going to get? Not people not secured the job as a 1, right? When I'm summing it, what I'm going to get it? People not secured, the total number of people who are not secured the job, that I am calling as a P naught. How much that will become? $900 minus this value. Yes or no? So how much is that? 900 minus this value. No, there is not a 1 minus probability. What I need to consider? Now P naught definition is what? X equal to 1, the number of people are not going to get a job. But the probability value, what you are going to calculate, that will become the 1 minus P naught. You guys are understanding or not? Let me repeat. What I'm saying is this. Now, x equal to 1. What is the P naught here? Percentage of the people not secured a job. This will become my, which is equivalent to what? 900 minus 379 divided by, which is equivalent to, how much you calculate, ma? Am I 5.578 or whatever it is. This will become my P naught. Yes, but interpretation, when I'm referring to the interpretation, is the same now. Percentage of people are not going to secure a job is still it is a 57%, which is matching with my previous comment. Yes or no, guys? Online, you guys are able to test. It doesn't matter which is the 1, which is the 0. Finally, you are going to end up with the same statement. Make sense? Make sense? All are clear, guys? The percentage of people not secured a job is the matching with my previous statement. Same, it is not going to change. So it doesn't matter which is the 1, which is the 0. Clear? Clear? Any question? Any question on the Bernoulli? What is the Bernoulli distribution now? But this is only for one trial only. This is only for one trial. Now the game starts. Now you are going to face little bit of difficulty in making the things. Next distribution is random variable. Important. We are going to solve many problems. That is the fundamental. For Bernoulli random variable is the fundamental you need to understand the rest of the story. That's why I spent a lot of time. Bernoulli binomial random variable. In your academics, you might have studied all these things, but the way you study and the way you are going to get here entirely different. What is the binomial random variable? If x is a binomial random variable, then sum of all Bernoulli, I think you check the spelling things, Bernoulli random variables is called the sum of all the Bernoulli random variables is called binomial random variable. Very, very important. We are going to solve few real-time problems. You can go and implement immediately in your company. Binomial. I solved around 10 problems only on this. Binomial random variable. This itself becoming your project. You can keep this in your project. Whatever I am going to discuss, the problem. Okay? This itself you can keep as a part of your project. Every problem which I am going to discuss is a project for you. We are going to solve around 100 plus problems. Okay? What is the meaning of this? If x is a Bernoulli random variable, let's say x1, x2, xn, each is a Bernoulli. Each is a Bernoulli. Means what? This x1 can take what values? 0 or 1. x2 can take what values? xn also can take. So now I am defining x, x1 plus x2 up to xn. This x, sum of all the Bernoulli random variables, this is going to become a binomial. So what value? Whenever I am talking about a random variable, you need to understand two things first. What are the values it is going to take? And corresponding probabilities. Already, all are clear? Now, let me ask you a question. This x, what are the values it is going to take? What are the possible values for x? 0 to infinite. Is it 0 to infinite? 0 to n. If all x1, x2, xn, all are zeros, how much is the sum is going to be? 0. If all are 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, how much my sum is going to be? In between only it is going to take. Yes or no? So whenever I am spelling out, whenever I am talking about the Bernoulli, any random variable, the first next moment, what you need to think? Hey, what are the values it is going to take? Just check. So what are the values it is going to take? X can take the values between 0 to n. Important interview question. Why not? I am having 10 people to recruit. Whether I'm going to recruit him or not going to recruit him. Mr. Bernoulli, tell me in Bernoulli what are the values. If it's a binomial distribution, tell me what are the values it is going to take. 0 to 9. 0 to 9, right? Yes or no? We'll talk in detail, don't worry. So x can take, what are the values? What are the values? So now, let me give an example so that I understand. Example. Problem tickets. You should not miss, Mr. Narayana. I'm not allowed. I'll throw your phone out. Problem tickets problem. Problem tickets. What is the meaning of this problem tickets? Production support data. Let's say you received 15 problem tickets today. You are fixing it. What is you are doing? You are fixing it. Each problem ticket may work, may not work. When you are running the script, it may work, it may not work. Yemandi, online you guys are getting. So each is a Bernoulli. What is the x I'm going to take? What are the values it is going to take? X may take 0 or x may take out of 9 problems. How many problems? N equal to 15, right? I received the 15 problem tickets. Let's say x. Let me define what is my x. X is total number of problems fixed correctly. This is what my x. I need to define my x properly, right? If someone else defining my x as total number of problems not working properly, this x is going to, the things are going to change. You guys are getting. Accordingly, I need to do the calculation. So what are my x values now? X may take 0. What is the meaning of this? All the problems. So none of the things are working. You fix the 15 problems. X equal to 0 means what? As per this random variable definition. None of the problems will fix correctly. You guys are understanding. So if I say x equal to 1, what is the meaning of this? Out of 15, only one problem fixed properly. What is the meaning of this? Out of 15, this is a total number, na? X is the total number. When I totaled it, I got x equal to 1. So what is the meaning of this? I can take, x can take 0, 1, 2, 3, up to 15. So what is the meaning of this? I fixed 15 problems. Out of these 15 problems, how many problem tickets fixed properly? Only 2. You guys are understanding this or not? Out of 15, only 2 problem tickets fixed properly. Interesting? Interesting or not? Guys, what is the meaning of this? "15 problems fixed properly." These are only the values. Why? These are only the values it is going to look at the definition. X is a Bernoulli random variable. Then sum of all the Bernoulli random variables is called a binomial random variable. Each one, each x1, x2, xn, what are the values it is going to take? 0 or 1. This is 0 or 1 like this. This is also 0 or 1. When I'm adding it, all the sum will become 0 or all the sum may become 15 or any value in between 0 to 15. That is only the value my x is going to take. Amen. You guys are understanding? Friends, or it is going top of your head. You need to understand all these things. Then only I can talk about the problems nicely. I can solve the problems nicely. Without understanding this, if you learn Python and R, that is not going to take you anywhere. For me, don't give any software. Just give some Excel or some paper. You give a problem, I'll solve it for you. Because I know the background. That is the mathematics knowledge. I'm owning it. So data science is not about the R and Python or Hadoop, Spark and all. It's more about knowing the mathematics. We are going to spend 90+% of the time on only understanding these things. Once you know these things, what is the problem with the calculation? Which is a multiplication or division or whatever we are doing, right? Yes or no? So X can take these. Now let me give few more examples so that you guys are going to understand. I'm defining in a one-day cricket match, I'm defining the total number of sixes. The total number of sixes. Let me repeat. X is the total number of sixes. This is what my random variable in a one-day cricket match. What are the possible values for X? 0 to 300? There will be 16, 26, 36, 46. Yes or no? Because each ball is a Bernoulli. Either if he is hitting the first ball as a 6, that will become 1. Otherwise, 0. Second ball, third ball, fourth ball, like that. Now, in a month, how many times you came to the office on time? What are the values my X is going to take? Let's say 20 days are working days. Tell me, in a month, how many days you reach to the office? The X is the number of days to reach to the came on time to the office. What are the values here by random variable? Bernoulli random variable is going to take. Sorry, binomial random variable is going to take 0 to 20. Interesting or not? Interesting or not? Now you fished. Let me give you. 100 people applied for a job. 100 people applied for a job. How many people are going to get a job? 0 to 100? It depends on the number of positions. All going may not get the job, right? If there are 9 positions, at that time, what is my N is going to be? I'm interviewing all the people. I may not find suitable candidate. I may not fill it. Please aware of that. At what time, what will become your, 0 or 1? Clear or not? Don't go just by that. Makes sense? Makes sense? I received, let's say, 10 resumes. How many interviews I am going to conduct? I may not conduct any interview. How can you say that I received the resume I am going to conduct? Maybe because of the something I postponed, I cancel that interviews. 0 interviews. Maybe I conduct all the interviews. No, only half an hour only I conduct the interviews. Rest after that I'll go to another meeting. You guys are understanding? So everything, if you understand, everything I can convert into my random variable. So you need to have that knack of converting the real-time problem into my random. Once you have done that, there is some formula to calculate. Use the formula, calculate. Your job done, over. Make sense, guys? Make sense? Now, I'm doing the testing. for I'm conducting the X is the number of cancer patients. X is the, first I need to define my random variable properly. X is the number of cancer patients. Okay. They visited, let's say 100 people visited the hospital for the testing. What are my values are going to be? X can take what values? X is the total number of cancer patients. 100 people went for the testing of a cancer, they are having a cancer or not. 0 to 100. There maybe you find none of the people are having a cancer. 0. Now the next question is, what is the chance that none of the people are going to having a cancer? Probability. What is the chance that only one person is going to have a cancer? P of x equal to 1. What is the chance that P of x equal to 100? What is the chance that P of x equal to 8? What is the chance that these are the probabilities I'm interested in? So if I'm able to calculate these probabilities, I know the random variable, what are the values it is going to take. If I'm able to calculate what are its values, what are its corresponding probability, my job done, right? Yes or no, guys? That's what is the attempt I'm trying to make. You guys are able to digest the subject, crux of the story. Online, you guys are able to appreciate what I'm teaching. That's what. Even any distribution, what is my attempt? Tell me what are the values it is going to take and corresponding probability. Now, I need to know what is the mass function, probability mass function in case of binomial. I use that formula and calculate the corresponding probability, my job done. Because anyway, I know what are the values it is going to take. If I am able to calculate, yeah, I can do whatever you want. Tomorrow, if you receive, let's say 300 problem tickets, I calculate the probabilities. What is the chance that you are going to fix 10 problem tickets properly? I calculate the probability of x equal to 10, whatever the probability. In a year, how many people, let's say, is going to talk to 1,000 people? What are the, let's say, x is the total number of people they took the policy. What are my x is going to take the values? 0 to each is a Bernoulli. Whomever I am talking, they will not take the LIC policy. So you should have a knack of converting your physical problem into data science problem. Let me write a statement now. In all the problems in the data science, first you look at your business problem. In all the data science, business problem, you are going to convert into statistical problem. What is that? We'll see all these things. After the statistical problem, you are going to provide statistical solution. Means what? Statistical solution means what? You are going to get some formula, mathematics and all. You got the solution. Now you need to convert that into business solution. What is the meaning of the business solution? Explain to the client in the language which he can understand. Don't tell him that it is a Bernoulli random variable, it is a binomial random variable, all those things. No, not accepted. You need to tell him that this is the chance that around 42% of the people are going to get a job. That's what the answer. That is nothing but the business solution. Okay, sir, getting? Okay. So you need to minimize your English of speaking the data science language when you are communicating to the client. You need to always communicate in a simple, plain English. If you look at my English, I don't use high frequency word. I mean high GRE kind of words. The reason is I came from a rural background, not even rural, village where there was no English teacher. How can you expect me to speak a very super duper English? Not possible. Yes, I'm very good with the mathematics. You talk to me in mathematics. That's about my strength. Okay, so assume that your client doesn't know any English. Here English is nothing but statistical English. He doesn't understand any statistical English. Don't expect him to learn all the statistics the way you are learning.